Hi, everyone. I'm back with another summary of one of our reading textbooks. Before I start, I would like to ask you a question. Now, what do you think digging holes, an old pair of sneakers, and a pig stealing great great grandfather all have in common? Well, if you said they're all from the book Holes by Louis Sachar, you would be right. You will find out about all of these things in our grade 5 reading textbook, Holes by Louis Sachar. Holes is a story of Stanley Yelnats, a 14-year-old boy who is sent to camp, Green Lake, a correctional camp for boys in the desert in Texas. Now, he was sent there, he claims, for a crime he didn't commit. Now, the word claims means he says. He says he did not commit this crime. He says he is innocent. Innocent is the opposite of guilty. He says that, this was something he did not do. He was wrongly accused. Now, his family believes his bad luck comes from his no good, dirty, rotten, pig stealing great great grandfather. Now, try saying that 5 times fast. When Stanley arrives at Camp Green Lake, he sees that the other boys and himself must dig holes that are 5 feet wide and 5 feet deep. Now, if you're wondering how big that is, well, I'm 5 feet 4 inches, so it requires a lot of energy to dig such a hole. And the boys must dig these holes every single day under the scorching hot sun in the very, very high temperatures of the Texas desert. Now, the real question is why? Why must they dig these holes? And, well, there are only 2 reasons we dig holes, right? We dig holes either to put something in the hole or to take something out of the hole. And we never dig holes for fun. Well, at least I don't. And in the story, we're going to find out why the boys, including Stanley, are digging these holes. What I would like to do now is share an excerpt from the book. This is chapter 1 of Holes by Louis Sachar. There is no lake at Camp Green Lake. There was once a very large lake here, the largest lake in Texas. That was over 100 years ago. Now it is just a dry, flat wasteland. There used to be a town of Green Lake as well. The town shriveled and dried up along with the lake and the people who lived there. During the summer, the daytime temperature hovers around 95 degrees in the shade, if you can find any shade. There's not much shade in a big dry lake. The only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. A hammock is stretched between the 2 trees, and a log cabin stands behind that. The campers are forbidden to lie in the hammock. It belongs to the warden. The warden owns the shade. Out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in the holes dug by the campers. Here's a good rule to remember about rattlesnakes and scorpions. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you, usually. Being bitten by a scorpion or even a rattlesnake is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You won't die, usually. Sometimes a camper will try to be bitten by a scorpion or even a small rattlesnake. Then he will get to spend a day or 2 recovering in his tent, instead of having to dig a hole out on the lake. But you don't want to be bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow and painful death, always. If you get bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard, you might as well go into the shade of the oak trees and lie in the hammock. There's nothing anyone can do to you anymore. Now, I would like to explain some of the vocabulary from our excerpt. The first word we have is shriveled. Now, if you remember, they were saying that the lake and the people of Green Lake are now shriveled and dried up. If you think of a grape, the fruit, a grape at one time is plump and moist. When you bite into it, it's juicy. When you put it out into the hot sun or out on your kitchen counter, it might dry up and it will turn into a raisin. It will become small. It will become shriveled up. And that's what happens to the people of Green Lake. They become shriveled up. The next word we have is warden. Now, you might see a warden in a prison, in a jail. A warden is a guard watching the prisoners. We have a warden at Camp Green Lake in the book, and the warden is watching the boys dig the holes. It is his responsibility to make sure that the boys are behaving, that they are digging the holes, that they're not going to run away. And actually, the boys in holes, they don't run away. The reason they don't run away is that there is no water for 100 miles. Once you leave Camp Green Lake, if you try to escape, you're eventually going to die because there's no water to be found. The only water is at Camp Green Lake. The next word we have is recovering. If you remember from the excerpt I just read, if you are bitten by a small rattlesnake or a scorpion, you need to recover. Now the boys, they are so tired of digging holes that they would rather be bitten by a scorpion or a small rattlesnake. They're willing to endure that pain, to suffer, just so that they don't have to dig holes. And it takes them a day or two to recover. Recover means to rest, to get better, to heal. Now, if you are sick, maybe you have to take medicine to recover, or you have to get a good night's sleep, or you have to eat something healthy to help you to recover. To recover is to get better. Now, I would highly recommend you read Holes. It's a fantastic story. It is just so funny. You might say, funny? Well, Miss Jennifer, these boys are digging holes. They're going to be bitten by rattlesnakes. They might be bitten by a yellow spotted lizard. How can it be funny? Well, the book is actually quite hilarious. And it's also what I really enjoy about it is that it is exciting and suspenseful. Now, suspenseful means you're always wondering, what's going to happen next? You'll be sitting on the edge of your seat, biting your nails. You know, when you watch a scary movie and you're biting your nails, what's going to happen? That's how you're going to feel reading Holes by Louis Sachar. Now, I recommend this book for everyone, but particularly for my older readers. We are reading it together in my grade 5 class, and my grade 5 students are doing a great job. They are explaining the story. They are coming up with ideas and opinions about the story, about the characters. So I would highly recommend you take a chance and read this book if you can, if you like a good mystery. I know I am really curious about why the boys are digging the holes. What is the reason? And what's going to happen to Stanley? So take a chance and read it if you can. I look forward to talking to you about the book Holes, and I look forward to seeing you in my classes. Until then, have a great day, and we'll see each other again soon, I hope. Bye for now.